The HOA's next attempt at control was almost laughably petty. At least, it would have been if it weren't so consistent with their obsession over my property. One morning, I received a notice imposing a $500 fine for fishing in my own pond. The reasoning was absurd. Supposedly, the pond was under HOA jurisdiction, and I needed special permission to engage in activities that had always been part of my land's recreational use. Karen was at the helm again, fully confident that her arbitrary penalties would intimidate me. I calmly reviewed the notice, noting every inconsistency, every overreach, and every clause that lacked legal enforceability. It was clear that the penalty had no standing, and any attempt to enforce it would have been challenged successfully in court. But rather than simply contesting the fine, I decided to escalate strategically. The very next day, I purchased full legal control over the pond. Ownership of the water rights, access points, and surrounding land put me in a position of undeniable authority. Any previous claims by the HOA were instantly nullified. In effect, they had tried to penalize me for fishing, but now not only could I fish freely, I had full discretion over who was allowed access to the pond. To reinforce the point, I installed a large, tasteful sign at the entrance to the pond: private property, residents not welcome without authorization. It was simple, clear, and assertive. Any HOA representative attempting to interfere would now be trespassing. The sign was both a legal marker and a symbolic declaration. My authority was complete. Karen arrived the following morning, expecting confrontation. She was met with calm efficiency. The pond gates were locked, cameras monitored every approach, and the new legal signage left no ambiguity. I greeted her with a neutral smile, offering a polite but firm explanation that the fine was invalid. Her authority over the pond was non-existent, and any further attempts to impose penalties could result in civil and criminal liability. Her reaction was priceless. She sputtered, waved her papers, and attempted to assert authority, but every argument collapsed under the weight of property law, documented water rights, and recorded legal ownership. The neighbors, who had been following the ongoing saga with fascination, watched in quiet amusement as Karen's overreach was systematically dismantled in real time. I then implemented additional safeguards. Smart locks and automated alerts ensured that any attempt to enter the pond without permission would be immediately detected and documented. Surveillance cameras provided time-stamped evidence of intrusion, while legally binding notices clarified the private status of the property. In essence, the pond had been transformed into a fortress of both legal and practical control. Over the following days, I noticed a subtle but satisfying pattern. The HOA's presence around the pond diminished rapidly. Attempts to patrol, monitor, or impose restrictions were abandoned, replaced by whispered complaints and frustrated glances. Karen's obsession, once fierce, was now reduced to impotent displays of irritation. Every failed attempt at enforcement reinforced the reality that I was in complete control. The ultimate irony of the situation was not lost on me. The very organization that had tried to penalize me for enjoying my own pond had inadvertently catalyzed my acquisition of total control. What had started as a petty $500 fine had turned into a comprehensive legal and strategic victory, strengthening my authority while simultaneously undermining the HOA's credibility. By the end of the week, the pond was quiet, fully secured, and entirely under my jurisdiction. Karen's attempts at domination had been neutralized, and the property was stronger, safer, and more controlled than ever before. Every fish in the pond, every ripple of water, and every path leading to the banks served as a reminder. Aggression without foresight only empowers the prepared. As I stood by the pond, casting a line into the calm waters, I reflected on the broader lesson. Every petty overreach, every arbitrary penalty, every attempt to intimidate or coerce could be transformed into an opportunity with the right combination of knowledge, foresight, and strategic action. Karen had tried to punish me, but the result was the exact opposite. The pond was now private, secure, and untouchable. My victory flowing as smoothly as the water itself.